Hey, I'm Deakin Davies and I'm a record producer. I got into music tech when I was quite young. When I was 15, my band was doing pretty well and we got to go into lots of different studios, and I think at that point I was like, yes, this is something I want to get involved in. I'm kind of the really nerdy person that was just like looking over the shoulder of the sound engineer being like, hey, what are you doing there? And I think at that point I was like, this is a world that I want to be involved in. When I was 16, I was busking with said band and a record producer comes up to me and goes, oh, I own a studio, you guys should come check it out. A year later, I ended up being hired at that studio at 17. My mum had decided to set up a record label, so I was recording some of her artists. At 18, I got my first Radio 2 play, which was amazing, but also, as far as I'm aware, means that I'm the youngest female record producer to have a song on Radio 2, which is quite a unique experience. With everything that was going on, I thought, wow, I want to do this full time, and I ended up leaving school to pursue this. And before that point, I hadn't really noticed that I was a woman in the industry. I had just thought, I'm a record producer and I really enjoy doing this. I hadn't really faced discrimination in the music industry. I had just loved music tech and that's what I did. The first experience that I really had was I was sitting in front of the desk at a studio session, and it's understandable they did this, but basically the artists were just starting to give me their tea orders, which was slightly embarrassing, but also I can understand because it's not very common to see a 19-year-old female record producer producing an album for an artist in a proper studio. So I think that is something that really stuck with me. I think it is of paramount importance that young women and girls get involved in music tech. I think part of the reason why they don't is that they don't have the role models, which is why I've been doing radio shows, interviews, panel talks, and remove this stigma that it's a man's world, because it's not.